friends, good afternoon. As I mentioned in this not paid, today we will discuss about that is audio, video and camera. Definitely whenever we are talking about the audio and video, we people are thinking about what, sir, it will be offline or online. So today I will demonstrate you both option in audio, that is offline play and online play both. Same way you can do in the video also, that is you can play from the resource as well as you can play online also. Suppose if you think that I want to play a video from YouTube, then you cannot directly write the URL of the YouTube and you cannot play that particular URL and you cannot play that particular video. Whenever you want to do like this, at that time you need an API, and that is YouTube Android Player API that is required to bind the YouTube video. That also I will show to you guys. So after dealing with the audio and video, we will talk about the camera. So using camera, we will capture the image. Using the camera, we will record the video. And at last, I will show you how to scan the QR code using the camera application. And you can scan the QR code of Aadhar card, and we will fetch the display details from that particular things. So let's start without wasting the time. Let's start developing Android Studio project. So first of all, you just need to click on start a new Android Studio project over here. Then you can choose the empty activity, and here you can just provide the name of your application. I'm just giving the name of my application is audio, video and camera app. Then you can choose the language. I'm choosing the language that is Kotlin, and then you can click on finish. Now I will start first with the that is a playing audio. So till this my Android Gradle build is running on, I want to choose the audio file over here. So it is available over here in my Android webinar GFSU folder. There is a one folder that is audio video, and I have two files. One is my audio and another one is my audio, my video. So this is my audio. I want to play it. So I want to play that particular audio, and this is my video. So these two files I need to copy in my offline folder. So this is my Android Studio. Here in Android Studio, you need to store in your resource folder. So you can just right click on your resource, new, and you can just click on Android resource directory. Here in Android resource directory, you can select the raw folder, and here in this raw folder you can paste your video. That cannot be accessible outside. Using the your application only that can be accessible. In this raw folder you can copy these two files. One is audio file and another one is a video file. So you just need to copy this, and here in raw folder you can just press Ctrl V, so it will be pasted over here. So there are two files are there. One is my audio.mp3 and another one is my video.mp4. So these are my two offline files. Even you can copy into SD card and you can also load the same. Now I want a design over here. So I'm just clicking to activity main.xml, and here you can just click on show system user interface. Now here you can just click on split, and you can just simply remove this text view. Now I want to play a audio that is from my resource raw folder. So you can just move drag and drop button over here, and you can just click on info constraint. Whenever user click on this button, I want to play that particular audio. So here you can just give the title of your button, that is play audio from resource, right? That is raw folder. Now here whenever user click on this audio button, I want to play the musical files, and that file can be that is my this is the file that I copied over here in raw folder, that is my audio.mp3. So I want to play that particular music. So I'm writing the code for to play audio from resource. Now that button ID is that is button. So whenever user click on that particular button, you can just call button.set on click listener, and here you can create the instance of a media player. So you can simply write variable mp is equal to media player dot, you can call the create function. You need to provide the two arguments. One is your context and another is your path of your file. So file is available in resource folder row directory. So you can simply write like this: resource r dot row dot name of your file, that is my audio, and you can simply call mp dot start. It will be played. Let's just check it is working properly or not. Only two-line codes to play a audio file. Only two-line code. You just need to call an instance of the media player, and you just need to provide the path of your file, and then you can simply call mp.start. It will play the media player file. Gradle build is running on. Once the Gradle build is run fast, after that we can check this application. Yes, it is being installed and my activity is launched over here. Whenever I click on play audio from resource, see. Yes. So this is the way you can play a audio from resource. But I don't want to play from my offline. I want to play it from online. So whenever you want to play audio from online, it is very simple. You just need to provide the path of your online MP3 file. So you can simply write like this: to play audio from online URL, you need a uniform resource identification. So I'm just calling another button. So you just need one more button over here. Here you can just click on info constraint. Whenever user click on this button name is, that is a play audio from online. So whenever user click on this button, I want to play a music. Here you can just click on info constraint. Yes. So button will be available over here. Now, whenever user click on this button, that is the button number 2. So you can simply write the code button 2 dot set on click listener. Now again, you can do the same thing that you did earlier, like variable mp is equal to media player. Now you can simply create the instance, that is media player. Now we don't have the file available, so you can just simply set the data source. Here you just need to provide the path, that is online URL path, and then simply you can just call mp.prepare and you can call mp.start. But to start that particular music that is online, you need a permission, and that permission is internet. So you can first move to your Android manifest file, and here you can add the permission, and that permission is internet. Once the internet permission is added over here, now you can provide the path over here. So there are so many sites are giving the online resource. See, this is my tab, and here there is one website, that is a soundhelix.com. Here in soundhelix.com, there is a path, that is audio examples. So there are lots of audio examples are available on this site, that is a sound helix. Definitely you need to read the license agreement before using this. So this is the music, see, right? Now I want to play that particular music. So you can simply copy your path. Once you copy this path, you can paste over here in this data source, and once your path is copied over here, you can simply execute your application, and you can just test over here on emulator it is working properly or not. The first is playing the audio from the offline, that is resource folder, and another one is playing audio from the online. See, right? So this is the way you can implement the playing audio from resource file and playing audio from the online URL. Suppose if you think that I want to play not only audio but I want to play a video. So I want to play a video over here, and that is the video already I pasted in my this folder, and that folder is row in which my video.mp4 is there. So I want to play that particular video. Whenever you want to play any video, you need a video view. So you can simply write here video view, and you can just move, drag and drop a video view over here. Yes, so this is my video view. You can just click on info constraint, and even you can mention the width and height. Width is match parent, so it will be fully stretched, and height is around, for example, 300 dp. So it is enough. So whenever uh, I click on this particular video, I want to play a video. That video I already pasted in my resource directory. So how to do this? Very simple. To play a video, from that is definitely my resource folder. So to play a video from resource folder, that is a row folder. Very simple. Whenever you want to play a video from resource folder, you need to first define the path. So for path, you can simply write android dot resource colon slash slash. Now you need to provide the name of your package. That can be available using package name variable, and then you can just simply pass a slash dollar, and now you can just provide the name, that is r dot row 0 dot my video. So this path is set now. Now you need a one more control, and that is media controller. So you can simply define variable, that is media controller of that is media controller is equal to, you can simply call media controller, that is a class media controller that is available in widget package android.widget, and here you can simply pass the instance that is current context, that is this. That media controller is that can be used to make the play, pause and forward of the video. Then you can set the media controller dot set anchor. Here in set anchor view, you can pass the instance of your video view. It means my media controller should be available in my video view. And then you can set the video view, that is my variable video view dot set media controller, and you can just pass your variable, that is media controller. Now you need to provide the path, that is path available in your variable. So you can simply pass, that is here, that is video view dot set video path, and here in set video path you can simply pass a path variable, that is your string, and then you can simply call video view dot start. Right, so whenever you call this, it will be called, you can just set like this, and you can just execute your application, and you can see that my video, that is video file, is available in my folder, that is r.row, and that is in my video folder. It should be loaded over here. Let me increase the volume. See, control is available over here. Even you can decrease the volume, and then you can see that the control is over here. See, you can pause also. So this is the media controller. Yes. So this is the way you can play the video from your resource folder. You can play any video, and that video cannot be accessible from your phone. This is my phone, and here in my files the video cannot be accessible. If I access in any files, if I go to any application, the video will not be accessible. Video will be stored inside the APK, right? So this is the power that you can use. But some people always demand that, sir, I don't want to play a video from the offline, I want to play the video from the online. So next topic, that is to play a video from online URL. So whenever you want to play a video from online URL, I will take one more activity right now because I have already used all the space available in this design. So I'm just right clicking on my app folder, new activity, and you can just click on empty activity. Here you can just give the name of your activity, that is a video play activity. And then you can just simply click on finish. Definitely I want that this activity should be launched first. So here in this activity, that is my video activity, I want that the two things, one that I want to play a video from online URL, and another one that is I want to play a video from YouTube, right? So very simple, you can just search over here, that is a video view. So you can simply move, drag and drop video view control over here, and you can just click on info constraint. Even you can resize it also if it is required. You can just click on info constraint, and then in split you can define the width, that is match parent. You can define the height, for example 300 dp. That's it. Now I want to play a video over here that is from online link, right? So whenever you want to play a video from online, so to play a video from online URL, you must have a URL of MP4, that is extension. So how to do this? Very simple. You can simply write like this: variable MC is equal to, you can create the instance of media controller, and then you can just pass the context. Then you can simply write media controller dot set anchor view, and then you can just pass video view 2. Why? Because we want to play a video in video number video view 2. So here you can just pass, that is video view 2. Now you can simply write here, that is video view 2 dot set media controller, and then you can simply pass your media controller instance, that is variable that we created. And then you can pass video view 2 dot set video URI. Here you can just pass a video URI, that is my URL link I need to pass over here. So you can simply call URI dot pass, and here you need to pass your URL. So from where you can get the URL, like MP4. So I have one URL, so I'm just opening my notepad++ file over here, and here you can just get the online video link. So online video link is my this. You can simply copy it, and you can just pass instead of this URL. This video is available from developers.google.com, and then you can simply write video view 2 dot start. So it will be played. Let's see it is working properly or not. But whenever I execute this application, it will load the first activity, that is main activity. It will not open the activity that is my play video activity. See here, it has opened the activity, but it is not the activity is the first. It is the first activity, but it is not the second activity. So to do this, very simple, you can just cut this intent filter and you can paste in this video play. Then you can re-execute your application. You can re-execute your application, and you can see that now my video will be changed. See. Yes. So this is the way you can do this. Even you can just check that this is the link. This is my video link. I'm just copying this, and you can paste into internet. So I'm just pasting over here. It will be played over here also, right? But suppose you people think that, sir, I want to play a YouTube via video. So can I play a YouTube video over here? Dear students, suppose if you want to play a YouTube video uh, for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, because it can be expired after that particular time. So for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if you want to do, then you can, let me show you how to do this. Amitav Ganesh Aarti, right? This is the Amitav Ganesh Aarti. Let me, yes. Now students, you can just write SS before this Y, you can simply write SS. So it will be open a save from net. Here in save from net, for example, let me click on MP4. Yes, yes. Now students, you can just copy this URL. You can just copy this URL, and instead of this set video URI, you can paste this URL. But this URL will be expired. This will be expired. See, the expired time is given over here. So it will be expired. You can just see, it will be played. See. So students, you can play directly like this, but remember, this link will be expired after some time. So this is not the correct way to do this. But if you want to really play a YouTube video over here, then I have a different style. How to do this? Very simple. See, so let me take one more activity, and that activity is playing YouTube video. So whenever you want to play a YouTube video over here, you can just take one more activity and empty activity. I'm just writing here YouTube video play, and then you can just click on launcher activity, so it will be open fast. Yes, what I want to do, whenever user click on this button, for example, here I'm just taking one button, and that button is I want to give the name of this text, that is play Ganesh Aarti by Amitabh, right? So whenever I click on this, I want to play a YouTube video over here. Suppose if you want to play a YouTube video over here, then you need a YouTube API. There are two ways you can do this. One, that is I did here, and that is how, that is I just created just use the SS YouTube, and then after the SS YouTube I just copied this link, but this link will be expired after some time. So this is not the good way. So students, I will show you how to do this. It is very simple. For example, this is the Ganesh Aarti by Amitabh Bachchan. Yes, so I'm just skipping it. Now I want to play this, right? So this is my ID. Remember this, I will use this particular ID to play my video. So what are the steps to play the Android, what are the steps to play the YouTube video into Android emulator? It is very simple. You need a YouTube player API first. So how to do this? Very simple. You can just move to your Google Chrome. Here you can simply write YouTube player API Android, and then you can just press the enter. You will get the first link, that is developers.google.com. Here there is a one link, that is YouTube player API. You can just click on download first, and then you can just click on download. Whenever you click on download, here in download folder you can just click on save. So your YouTube player API will be saved in this folder, and that is here. See, YouTube Android player API. Whenever you extract this, you will get the folders. In this folder, in libs folder, you will get the jar file, that is YouTube Android player API, that is executable jar file. You just need to copy this jar file. So I'm just clicking on right click and copy, and then you need to paste. Where? Here in project, you just need to switch to, instead of Android, you just need to switch to Project Explorer. Here in Project Explorer, you can click on app. Here in libs folder, you can just right click and paste your jar file, and you can just click on OK. So your jar file will be pasted over here. See, YouTube Android player API jar is available here in project folder. Now you can switch to your Android folder. Once you move to your Android folder, now here in Gradle, that is in build.gradle, you need to give the path of your libraries. So how to give the path of libraries? Very simple. Here you can just write implementation tag. Here in implementation tag, you need to write that implementation of what? Implementation of files. And here in implementation of files, you can just write in single quote the path of your libs slash. Now the file is available in libs and that file name is youtube android player api.jar. So this is the name. So I'm just clicking on F2 and you can just paste this name, that is youtube android player api.jar, and then you can simply click on sync now. So your Gradle project will be synchronized and it will be in progress. Once it is synchronized successfully, now you can move to your YouTube video play activity. Whenever user click on this button number 3, I want to play the video. So you can just simply write here, that is a code, and code is only for of the 2 lines. Button 3 dot set on click listener. It means whenever user click on this button, I want to play a video of, that is a Ganesh Aarti. So you can simply call intent over here, variable I is equal to, now you can call YouTube standalone player dot create video intent. So you can just call create video intent. Here 3 parameters are required. The first parameter is which activity it is. The second parameter is your API key. The third parameter is your view ID. And that view ID is what? Say, this is my Android video. Yes, this is my YouTube video. Here, this is my view ID. V equal to question mark V equal to. So here you can just copy this and you can just paste this particular view ID. So this is unique view ID. Always this ID will be unique within the YouTube URL. So this is the unique ID that you just need to copy this. That is V equal to. That will be available after question mark V equal to. Once you copy this, now we need a API key. So how to generate the API key? Very simple. You can just move to your the previous link, that is YouTube Android Player API. Now instead of download, here you need to click on this, that is register your app. Whenever you click on register or your app, here you can click on credential page. Whenever you click on credential page, it will allow you, it will move you to the Google account if it is not there. After that, you need to create the credential. So here you can just click on country. You can choose the country. You can click on I agree. Once you click on agree and continue, then after you can create the credential. So here in credential, you can just click the create project first. Once you create any project, for example, I'm just creating the project name is testing. Yes, so it is creating the project. Yes, Google is right now giving me activate now to get 300 credit to explore Google Cloud, right? You can even click on activate or dismiss. Right now it is not required. Now this is my API key. Here you can click on create credential. Here in create credential, you can click on API key. Whenever you click on API key, your key will be created. You can just click on copy and then you can click on close. See here, you can see that this is the key that is generated on August 21, 2020. Now I want to use that particular key. So you can just paste your key over here. So this is the key. This is the unique video view, and now you can simply pass start activity of I. It means whenever user click on that particular button, I want to start the activity, and you can simply run your application. Definitely you need a permission, and that permission is internet permission, and that we already added over here. But right now it is loading the video of particular URL. So I don't want to do this. So you can just click on your Android manifest file. Here in Android manifest file, you can just simply remove this intent filter. Why? Because we already added to YouTube video play, and then you can simply execute your application. Now here you can see that what happens. See, Whenever you execute your application, it is asking me to play the Ganesh Aarti. Suppose if I click this play Ganesh Aarti, what it will do? It will open the YouTube. See, it is moving me to a YouTube. Yes, this video contains the content from US Music who has blocked from display on this website or application. Good. How to do this? Very simple. You can take the another video URL. For example, let me take the URL from my I never did this in my channel. So this is my channel, Dr. Parag Shukla. This is the video of that is network state information. Let me copy this view. So you can just copy this. You can just copy this and here in that is YouTube video play activity. You can paste this and now you can test and execute your application again. Let's see how it is doing. Yes. So whenever I click on this, see my video will be played. Yes. And that is a video of network state. See, you can increase the volume. Yes. So this is the way you can play YouTube video over here. But whenever your key is public, see, this is the my key. And if somebody from you take the snapshot and if that particular person use that particular key, then it will be work. So you need to kept your key that should be private. So how to do this? Very simple. You can just click on this and here you can just click on edit also if it is required. Even you can restrict it for up to particular use also, and even you can remove that particular key also. See, that can be HTTP, IP address, Android app, iOS app that is created on August 21, and even right now the option is don't restrict the key. Suppose if you want to restrict the key, then you can select that this should be available in my application only. Here you can select the API and in that particular API you can use. Suppose if you have seen that my API key is visible to some other person, then you can simply click on delete and your key will be deleted. Once your key is deleted, you will not be able to access this. Right? So this is the powerful feature of YouTube that you can do this. Now, after playing the audio and video, now I am moving towards the camera. So whenever you are talking about the camera, I want to take what I want to capture the particular image and then I want to store into image view. So let's do how to do this. Very simple. Here you can just click on app, right click new. You can click on activity, empty activity, and here you can just give the name of your activity, that is capture image activity. I want that my this activity, that is capture image activity, should be load first. So you can simply remove this intent filter. You can just cut this and you can paste into this capture image activity. Now what happened? Whenever user capture that particular image, I want to store in here in my image view. So I'm just searching for the image view over here. You can just move, drag and drop the image view over here. You can put the any background picture. Right now I'm just taking the IC background. You can click on info constraint. Yes. Now you can click on split. Even you can increase the size of the image view if it is required. Yes. Now, whenever user click on this button, this is the button. Whenever user click on this button, I want to open the camera, and I want that the users must take the picture, and that picture must be stored over here, right? So here you can set the title of this button, that is the take the picture. Right. Now, whenever user click on this button, I want to open the camera. But by default, I want that the button should be disabled. So you can simply write here the property that is enabled false. I want that the once user give me the permission or to access the camera, then and then I want this button should be enabled. So I need a permission, and that permission is camera. I want that that button should not be enabled until and unless user gives me the permission. So you need to check if activity compact. This is the thing that we did earlier. Activity compact dot check for the self permission. You can check for the self permission. Here you can just provide the name of the permission that will be available in manifest, that is android.manifest dot permission dot, and the permission is camera, not equal to package manager dot permission granted. It means this permission, if it is not granted, then ask from the user. So you can just request that activity compact dot request permission. You can just pass array of, and the permission is manifest dot permission dot camera, right? Now, and here you can just provide the request code, for example 111. So whenever user click on that request code allow, then what you want to do? So we need to here override the function, and that is on request permission result. So if the request code is that is equal 111, and if user has clicked on allow button, it means that the package manager dot permission is granted. If it is granted, then what you want to do? Then if it is granted, then button enabled. So here you can just write button number 4 dot is enabled is equal to true. If it is already granted, then also button number 4 dot is enabled is equal to true. Now you can just test your application. What I did nothing. My button should be disabled first. Let me check it is working properly or not. You can just execute your application over here. Let me test. Yes, see, it is asking me for the permission. If I click on deny, the button will be disabled. If I execute it again, and again what happened, it will check for the permission is not granted, but if I click on allow, then it will call the request permission result, and the whenever I click on allow, the permission is granted, so the button will be true. So you can click on allow, and then button will be enabled. Now whenever user click on this button, that is take the picture, I want to open the camera. So how to open the camera? Very simple. You can simply write button number 4 dot set on click listener. Now here you can create the instance of intent variable I is equal to intent, and here you can press alt or enter to import this particular class, and then you can simply write media store dot action underscore image capture. Not only this, whenever you press dot over here, you can see that you can use the different image. For example, here you can use the action of the video capturing also. So right now I am doing the action image capture, and then you can simply call the start activity for the result function. So definitely we need to call pass the request code over here. So I'm just passing the request code 123. Here you can pass any code. For example, if you pass here 101, then you need to just match that particular code. So you can override the method over here, and that is on activity result. Now here you can just check if request code equal 101, then what you want to do, that you can write over here. But right now I don't want to write the code for that particular thing. I want to just show you guys what happened whenever user click on that particular button, that is button number 4, that is take the picture. See, this my start activity will open the camera, and you need to just click on allow. I'm just clicking on allow, so my camera will be open. I'm just clicking on next. See, my camera is opening over here. You can just see that my emulator is using my webcam. So this is my current picture right now. But if I click on OK, If I click on OK, then it should be taken. But there is no button of a tick mark, and it is not doing anything. It is just opening the camera application. So what to do this? What to do over here? Very simple. Here you can simply write variable picture is equal to whatever you have taken. For example, I have taken this picture, right? So variable picture is equal to data dot get parsable extra. That is the function. Here in parsable extra, you can just cast to bitmap, and you can just simply pass your data. Data is the key. Based on the key, you will access the data, and data means the picture that you have taken, and then you can set that particular picture to your image view dot set image bitmap, and you can just pass picture variable. Let me execute this. You will definitely understand that what happened. You can execute this application and you can test over here. You can see that what happens. See, yes, let me click on take the picture. It is taking the picture. See, yes, once it takes the picture, now you can click on this tick mark button. Yes, that whenever I click on that particular tick mark button, I want that picture should be set over here in this image view, right? So this is my capture image. This is my image view. I want that it must be taken over here in this image view. Let me check it is working or not. Yes, let me take the picture. Yes, let me click on this. Yes, it is not setting that particular thing. Let me check into code what I did. Yes, start activity full result. Here the code is 123 and I matched for the 101. So it will not match this. You need to write here 123. So if the code is matched with this, then and then it will work properly. So let me take a picture. It will execute again. Yes, take the picture. So let me take the picture. This is the picture. Yes. Now whenever I click on this tick mark, I want that the picture should be over here. See, this is that you can do in your original phone also. Now here you can just click on logcat right now here, and then you can choose the your emulator. Right now it is Vivo, and then you can just click on screen capture. Yes, see, this is my screen. Let me recapture it. Yes, this is my screen. Now I want to install the application over here in this phone. So you can simply execute this application on Vivo. Whenever you execute this application on my phone, what happened? Could not delete. Let me execute on Vivo. Yes. So it is opening in my phone. See, you can see the image. This is my phone, and my phone it is asking me for the permission, and without that the button take the picture is disabled. See, now whenever I click on allow, I'm just clicking on allow. You can just see here, take the picture, that button is enabled now. Now I'm clicking on take the picture. I'm clicking on recapture also. See, now I'm just clicking on this taking the picture. Yes, so you can just click on recapture. So I taken the picture. Now there are three buttons. Now I'm clicking on OK. Whenever you click on OK, that picture should be loaded in my application. You can see here. Yes. So my picture is loaded over here in this application. So this is the way you can do this. Suppose if you think that I don't want to capture the image, I want to capture the video. So suppose if you want to capture the video, you can do the same thing. How to do this? Let's see. So let me close all these files. Now you can just click on app manifest. You can open this. Now you can create the one more activity. So I'm taking the activity that is empty activity. Here you can just Give the name of your activity, that is capture video activity, and then you can just click on launcher activity, and then you can click on finish. Now the same way that I capture the image, I want to capture the video. So how to do this? First of all, we need to make the changes to our Android manifest. You just need to remove this, that is intent filter, because now I don't want to capture the image, I want to capture the video. So you can just click on capture video, and then you can do the same. Let's see how to do this. Here you can search for the video view. So you can take the video view control over here, and we need a one button over here. So I'm just taking the video view, and then you can click on info constraint. After that, you can just click on split. You can use the width, that is match parent, and height is, for example, 300 dp. Now I need a button, so I'm taking one button over here. Whenever user click on this button, that is a capture video, I want to capture the video, and that video I want to play over here. So this is the video view number 3, and this is the button number 5. So definitely we need to write the code over here in this capture video activity. So definitely we need to take the permission of the camera. But once you have taken the permission of the camera, you don't need to write the code for the camera again, camera permission again. So the code for the camera permission will be skipped from here, this particular portion. So you can directly write button number 5 dot set on click listener. Whenever the user click on this button number 5, I want to open the intent. And here in this intent, we need a media store, that is Android provider dot action underscore, and that is video capture, action underscore video capture. Then again you can start the activity for result I, and then you can pass the code. For example, I am just passing the code, that is 101. So you need to just check that 101 is working for that particular code. So you can simply write here, that is on activity result if my request code equal 101, right? And permission is already granted, so I am directly writing if my request code is 101, then whatever you have captured, right, for the video, that should be set in my video view. So you can simply write video view number 3 dot set video URI, and then you can pass data dot data dot data, and then you can write video view 3 dot, you can simply call start function. So your video will be played. Let's see it is working properly or not. Instead of Vivo, I want to first do in this my Pixel 2. So whenever you execute this application, I did the same thing that I did in image, but instead of the action video capture image, I am using the action video capture. So you can click on capture video. So instead of your now image capture, it will open the video. See, so I'm just clicking on video. Whatever I'm speaking, for example, I'm just raising the hand, I'm just speaking, whatever I'm speaking over here, that will be recorded. This is the video for the 11 seconds, and then you can just click on stop. Whenever you click on stop, and whenever you click on this tick mark, that video will be played over here. See, right? I had not added the media control over here. Once you add the media control over here, then your video will be played with the control, like a pause, forward, next, all you can do with this particular video. So this is the way you can capture the video. Even you can do the same in your original phone also. Now students, suppose if you think that I want to capture a QR code. So how to do this? Very simple. If you look at this notepad file, I already taken this 4 point. That is, play audio from resource and online, play video from resource online and YouTube, capture image and display in ImageView, capture video and display in VideoView. Now I am moving to the another, and that is really interesting. That is scan QR code of the Aadhar card and display the details. It is again a very good concept, and for that you need to uh, implement the Gradle file, right? So let's do this. Here in activity, you can just click on empty activity. Now here you can just give the name of your activity. That is a scan Aadhar card activity. You can make it launcher activity, so it will be load first. So I want that my Aadhar card launcher activity load first. Here in manifest file, here you can just do what? You can simply remove this intent filter from the capture video. Now I want to scan the Aadhar card. So how to scan the Aadhar card? Definitely we can scan this, and to scan the Aadhar card you need to scan the Aadhar card, you need a camera permission again. Using camera you can do that, but we already asked for the permission, and the once you had already getting the permission, you can simply do this, right? So let's I want to do the two things. One is I want the button over here, and that button is to scan the Aadhar card QR code. Scan Aadhar card QR code. So I want to scan the QR code of the Aadhar card, and then I want to display the information in this text view. So you can click on info constraint. You can just move to this text view, and you can just move this text view over here. And I want the text size. It should be around 8 point. Then I want the text color. It should be blue. Yes. So I want the Aadhar card information in this text view, right? And whenever user click on this scan Aadhar card, I want to scan the particular Aadhar card. But students, remember, whenever you want to use the Aadhar card, you want to scan any QR code or any barcode, you need a class, and that class is intent integrator. This class is not available over here. See, intent integrator. It is asking me to create the class. It means it is not available. So how to make available this particular class? That is intent integrator. So to make enable this class, you need to move to build.gradle module app. Here in build.gradle module app, you can write your implementation. So you need to write the implementation of, you need to add the package. So I'm just adding the implementation, and the implementation from which package you not need com.google. We need the xing colon core colon 3.3.3, and we need one more implementation, and that is what? That is related to, again the package is com dot, but now from journey apps. So this is the dependency that we need to add. Once you do this, then you can use the class that is intent integrator. Journey apps colon z xing dash android dash embedded colon 3.2.0 at the rate AAR. This is the path. Then you can simply click on sync now. If the dependency is available, then it will look for the dependency. Once the Gradle build is done, now you can move over here and you can import this class. See, once you click on Alt or Enter, the class will be imported over here. See, com.google.xing integration.android intent integrator. It means you can simply use now intent integrator. So how to do this? Very simple. See, you can just write whenever user click on this button, I want to scan the Aadhar card. So this is the button. button number 6. So you can simply write button number 6 dot set on click listener. Whenever user click on this button, I want the integrator class. So I'm just creating the variable integrator is equal to intent integrator is the class, and then you need to pass the current instance. To use this particular class, you need to import the two dependency. The first dependency that already I mentioned over here, that is com Google, and another one is journey apps, right? Two dependency you need to access this class, that is intent integrator. Now here intent integrator dot, you can set the camera ID, which camera you want to use. So you can just simply set the camera ID. Do you want to use the front camera or back camera, right? So I'm just using the camera, that is back camera. So I am just using the camera ID 0. Then you can just pass integrator dot set desired barcode format. Suppose if you not set this desired barcode format, then by default it will read the barcode. But if you want to read the QR code, then you need to pass here intent integrator dot QR code types. It means we want to read the QR code. Once you read this, whenever you are prompting to user, whenever you put any message, at that time you can just simply call integrator dot set prompt is the function. So it will print, put the hint to the user, scan your Aadhar card QR code, right? So this will be the message that will be available in my camera property. And then you can simply call the integrator dot set barcode, and here you can simply set barcode image enabled. Do you want that the barcode image enabled? Do you want to scan this? If it is yes, then you can pass true. False, you can set if it is not. Then you can call integrator dot initialize scan. Whenever you call this function, that is initialize scan, it will call the on activity for result function. Let me check it is working properly or not. Whenever I execute this application on my phone, definitely I need to run this my application on my original phone. So I'm just executing this application on my original phone. Here on logcat, you can click on capture the screen. Yes, so this is my phone. This is my original device. Now I'm just clicking on scan Aadhar card QR code. So what happens? See, let me recapture again. So this is my laptop. See, this is my laptop. Here you can find the message, that is a scan your Aadhar card QR code. It means a scan your Aadhar card QR code message is coming over here, right? So definitely what happened? See, this is my prompt. But whenever user click on that particular Aadhar code, that is QR code, I want information. And to access that particular information, what we need to do? Definitely we need to write the code in our on activity result. It means once the user has a start the initial scan, then what you want to do? So here you can implement the function, that is on activity result. Here in on activity result, you can just pass variable result is equal to, now you can call intent integrator is the class, that is intent integrator dot parse activity for result. You can pass your request code, and you can pass your result code, and then you can pass your data. So this is the simple class, that is intent integrator dot parse activity. So whatever you have captured in your QR code, that will be available in this result. If user has not captured anything, then the result will be null. It means if result not equal to null, then and then I want to move ahead. If result is null, it means that if result contents is null, then what happens? So you can simply write the condition, if result dot contents equal null, then you can just print the message toast dot make text. In current context, you can just pass the message barcode QR code scanning cancelled. So you just cancel the QR code, and then you can just pass comma toast dot length underscore long dot show. But what if user has captured the content? So if the QR code is scanned properly, then you can just pass the message to your text view. Text view dot set text, and here you can just set the text, that is a dollar, result is the variable, dot you can just set the message, that is contents. So your content will be set to your that is your text view, right? And here you can simply call this. Now once it is done, you can just execute this application on your actual phone. So I'm just executing it parallelly. I'm just clicking on capture image. So this is my phone. Let me recapture again. Yes, so this is my phone. It is asking me for the scan Aadhar card. Here you can just see that it is my original device. Yes, so it is my original device. Now I'm just clicking on capture, that is the scan Aadhar card. So it is asking for the value. Now I have the Aadhar card available with me. So I'm just recapturing the same. See, right? So this is my Aadhar card. I'm just capturing again. So I'm just capturing over here. See, print letter barcode data user ID 3733. This is my Aadhar card number.